All right, there we go. Well, to those of you watching this on VOD who haven't quite yet piled into the room, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, MBs. Happy Friday. Welcome to Warui Deshou's video game stream of thought. We're just going to co-opt our little title there for our usual podcast series, which currently on a bit of a hiatus at the moment owing to various circumstances that I personally can't speak about because they're not mine to talk about really, but we are working to get back into the stream of things with oh, I astound myself with my wit constantly. Anyway, point being, we're working to get back into the gist of things, as soon as we can to get listeners and yesterday going again. But for the moment, you've got me, unfortunately, covering Final Fantasy VII and cocking up every which way from Sunday. Although I am pleased to report in this particular section of the game we're going to cover today, there are no minigames for me to fuck up owing to my ineptitude with key bindings. It's all battles all the time, pretty much, and story. So today we're going to cover the Gold Saucer's Battle Arena, which is now open after the previous section we were in. We're also going to cover the Gongega Reactor and also Cosmo Canyon. And along for the ride, of course, is beer. Because why the fuck not? Cheers. Alright, well, without further ado, let's go. So, for the observant among you, you might think yourselves, wait a minute. Didn't Shadon, leave off last time in the desert somewhere outside the buggy? Why is he suddenly mystically and magically teleported to the Gold Saucer? Well, I've been a little busy in the intervening time between the last stream and this one, which is that I've actually been doing a little bit of off-screen grinding, which I'll explain in a little bit. I don't currently have the money, by the way, for the Lifetime Pass, but I will eventually. Although we're stopping here for a very specific thing that I've already kind of spoiled. Okay, before we do anything else, I'm going to just set up Cloud's materia. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of leveling, and also a bit of grinding as well off-screen to get certain specific things, most of which are actually enemy skills, which at this point of the game pretty much break it. Once you have these skills in question, you are pretty much set for the rest of the game, as far as I'm concerned. And you might see that some of these are now actually passing up on the screen there, particularly the ones I want to note are White Wind, Big Guard, Beta, or Beta depending on how you want to pronounce it, and Aqualung. You might have already seen Beta, for example. That's from the Midgar Zolom, who I went back and murdered to death, just to try and get all that skill. It was a bit of a pain to try and get it, but managed to do it eventually without anyone actually dying. Aqualung you can learn from an enemy that's actually in the desert called a Harpiel that looks like a Chimera. Aqualung is similar to Beta and it does a ridiculous amount of damage to all enemies, but it's water type rather than fire. White Wind is a healing skill. It heals HP to all Pi members based on the HP that the Pi member casket has. So you might know, for example, that Cloud currently has 1137 hit points. If he casts White Wind at that amount of health, then he'll heal everyone else for that same amount of health as well. Which means it gets weaker as people take more damage, but one of the other nice things is it also cures most, if not all, status effects. So that's quite handy. The final thing I'll mention is Big Guard. And Big Guard is basically, you've got Haste, M Barrier, and Barrier all in a single cast, which for this point of the game, this by the way affects all party members, is broken. It's the best status enhancing skill that you can get short of Regeneration or Peerless. It's insane. So I ground those off screen because you have to do very specific things to get them, and it would be a lot of busy work that I didn't really want to show on stream. But a lot of that involved using the manipulate materia, because some of these enemy skills, the monsters that possess them won't actually even cast them on your party unless you force them to through Manipulate, which is material we got at Kate Sith. So Cloud has got pretty much everything he needs at the moment to actually go into the battle arena. I'm mostly going to be going for high attack damage, curated magic, and also using enemy skills to supplement that. So let's see how we go. Now, there's a very specific reason I spoke to that lady, because if we win this entire section of battle arena fights, she will give us something, and the item that she gives us is very, very nice for this part of the game. Right, we'll come back to sign the monk because we want to have a look at the prizes, which are actually available over here. I'll be doing the explaining, thank you very much, sir. So I think I actually need to do my first fight before the prize list will come up, so with that in mind we'll get underway. We still have some GP from the last time we were here. Even though I have all those enemy skills, by the way, this is by no means like a guaranteed win. So yeah, big guard, an absolute load of MP to cast, but it's broken. It is just utterly broken at this point in the game. So these are actually the enemies from the very start of the game in the first reactor, if I'm not mistaken, and they're, well, a non-issue really. Look at that, 5 damage, oh no. Alright. So this is the gimmick with the battle arena, in that you have a slot that like can make things harder in certain ways. Let's see what the first one we get is. Right, so I now no longer have green materia. Cloud actually had Cure attached to him, so I can't now heal him as a result using the green materia, which is fine because I have White Wind. I also have a couple of healing items banked as well, so we should be okay. Alright, down 5 levels. This is again is another enemy also from the train graveyard at the start of the game. If he puts me to sleep, he's only going to end up hitting me anyway afterwards, so it's not the end of the world. Just gonna have to wait now. Just drum my fingers a little bit here. Silence is a bit of a bitch, but... Oh, it didn't even hit me anyway by the look of it. Alright, this should wake Cloud up and then I can kill him. Alright, I did get silenced anyway, but that's fine. Because I can just remove it with an item that I've got. Alright, my arm is broken. So that's a bit irritating, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, this is another enemy also from, I believe, the Shinra building, actually. Alright, green again. Because it's already broken, though, we're not going to lose anything from that. But you might know that all these enemies are not really putting out a huge amount of damage as it is anyway, so I'm not really that worried at the moment. They've also incidentally just put Sadness on Cloud, which means he'll take even less damage now as a result. See there how that drops a little bit versus the other one? Cloud is also quite close to getting his limit break anyway, which means that we'll have that banked in a little while to use for one of the later rounds. Green again. Clean these out with a bit of matching magic. There we go. Green again. Now, these enemies are actually the ones that you get big guard from, of all things. So, alright, you know what? Let's show off Beta and just show you how powerful this spell is. It's ridiculous. You'd be correct, Grumpy Cloud, I am. This is the first point in which you can get into the battle arena at the Gold Saucer. So, yeah, look at that, just destroyed. Absolutely devastated. Green again. Keep it going. Alright, this is probably as good a time as any to give Cloud a high potion. Just make sure we're all set on that. So that's actually put him closer, so that means he'll take more damage now from attacks. But I can always push him back, of course, just by using the change command there. I'll use my limit here, actually, just get it. Okay, done. This might also actually give us Clim Hazard at the end of this, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so far so good. Done it! There you go. We got a tissue. Alright, so we did really well on that one, actually. So let's see what we can get. So you might see that the the prizes here at the start are a bit shit. So there's the one we're actually after is the championship belt. That might mean we end up actually needing to go get some more GP from the gold sources like other places, but for the moment, it becomes invalid. So we need to go and have one more in there, and then we'll. Right. I'd completely forgotten that they would invalidate it before, like, once you leave, which is unfortunate. But hopefully I can actually rack up some more points, because while the green materia break gives you like a decent multiplier, there are ones that give you even more. And the enemies don't seem that difficult, to be honest. Alright, that's actually going to put me in slow if I get hit by that. But that's fine, I can use Big Guard to cancel that out. Alright, half HP. That's actually kind of semi-dangerous here. So I'll get Big Guard on in just a moment. It's not the end of the world right now because these enemies do such a poor amount of damage. But keeping Big Guard up at this point would probably be a wise idea. MP. Okay, fair enough. I didn't actually want that, because Gain Lucky 7s means you don't get any bonus to the BP as a result, which is a shame. You do deliberately want to make this harder for you if at all possible. Ooh, okay, that makes things interesting. So now we're going to have to rely more on magic as a result. Even though our weapon's broken, using Blade Beam here is probably still a good idea. Yeah, that's still a decent amount of damage. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Yikes. Right, Beast will clear them out. I'm gonna die now as a result. That's fine. That particular fight had not gone very well anyway, because of the multipliers that I got. So, it'd be that way sometimes. Alright, since we actually do have a decent amount of battle points though, we'll probably want to spend them while we're here. So we'll take the preemptive as that's the most expensive thing. But we're not also, like, you know, out of prizes, because you might recall I spoke to this woman before. Sprint shoes. So what are sprint shoes, you might wonder? Well, these ain't no Adidas. Sprint shoes actually give you haste automatically, which is really nice. It'll come in handy for getting big guard up if we need it. But also having it on there means Cloud is also now immune to slow, which is also nice. So, yeah, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, we're out of BP now, so we'll go back to the main station and head on our way out to the wider world. The championship belt, by the way, is nice and it gives plus 30 strength and plus 30 vitality, which is really nice. As you come back to this particular location, like to the battle arena later in the game, the enemies will also get tougher as well. I once tried doing this when I was playing this on the PS Vita, way back when, and I got to the final stage. I had a ribbon attached to Cloud, which is of course the stats immunity item, which I spun the reels, and it got broken. I was like, oh, okay, my ribbon's broken, whatever will I do? Truly, it's not the end of the world. And then a Marlboro spawned. If you know anything about Marlboros in Final Fantasy, you'll know full well that they are the dick move characters. Because they can cast bad breath, which puts every status effects on you known to man. And at that point, it was game over. So, whoops. Never mind. So I'm going to leave the preemptive off for the moment, just so I don't have enough slots to realistically stick it in. I can actually stick in this one here for Ares. Anyway, so we have the buggy now. The buggy allows you to go over shallow rivers. This is used to reach a number of areas, including on the previous continent actually. Plus you can go over deserts. Yes, there is. That would be the high wind. Also the tiny Bronco when we get it as well, because there are no battles on the ocean. So our current plan now is to make our way round towards Cosmo Canyon, and this is the shallow river that you normally cannot pass on foot. But if we go a little bit over here for a moment, let's not go to Cosmo Canyon, let's just head this way. There's a house. What could this house be, I wonder? Well, fair enough then. There is something we can do, and should do really, quite soon at this particular house. But we're not going to be able to do it for a little while, and I'm not going to do it on this particular stream. I will be showing it next time. But for the moment, let's head over this direction and... Oh, would you look at this? This looks like a location to visit. So before we head into there, I'm going to go get myself another beer. If you'll just excuse me a moment, ladies, gentlemen, MBs. Thank you very much for waiting. Let's crack on. I like how they're meant to be out here on official business and they're just running, like, having the most water cooler fucking conversation ever. Oh, man. I wish I had, like... I mean, obviously I've got my wonderful little, like, you know, setup here. I wish I had, like, those Always Sunny in Philadelphia corkboards where I could try and map the relationships and who likes who in this. But sadly I don't. Maybe for a future stream. Jesus Christ. Oh, hi, Elena. That's one of the things I love about the Turks. Like, they are simultaneously, like, professional wet work people for Shinra, and also they're just complete dogs. At times, anyway. Reno's still a prick for killing, like, 50,000 people, if not more than that. I love that little comedy moment where Elena just gets too worked up about what they're talking about. So actually goes, oh shit, wait, it's Cloud and, you know, Finger. Cloud and company. Not a boss. This is also entirely optional, I should stress. Now, I'm debating whether or not I want to actually just completely wreck their shit with something like Aqualung. But I don't feel like being that, like, awful. So, for the moment, let's just wreck them the usual way. Now, Kate took 0 damage because I've actually got him equipped with a fire ring at the moment. Which means that he's immune to it. I use that to help fight the Midgar Zolom. And yes, it is true, Grumpy Cloud. If you have Tifa in your party, if you have TV Pie, Rude will not attack her. Anyway, I think it's time we wrap this up, so let's show off Aqualung, which is just broken. Later! Oh, I'm sorry, I just gotta check my watch here, you know. Yeah, that's how broken you can be at this particular part of the game if you have the right enemy skills. I'm laughing because, well, I'm also laughing even more, but Well, you know. Anyway. Alright, so we got the fairy tail, which is this ridiculous weapon for Aeris. I mean, look at those slots. Just stack her with everything at this point. Why not? As a matter of fact, we're going to leave that other slot empty for just a moment. So this is a ruined Mako reactor, and of course we have the Mako reactor theme playing again. I do like how, by the way, that Scarlet, like, she's still wearing her dress, like, out in the open rather than something more practical. Keep a note of that line for in just a little moment. Big, large, huge materia! As long as it's activated by laughing at it, I suppose it would. Then again, Scarlet laughs pretty good as well, so, you know. I do agree with you, by the way, Gogo Tyro. Like, they do feel like they have their own personality, which is really nice. So, okay, Scarlet mentioned, like, oh, you only get crap material out of crappy reactors. Once I get out of this battle, I will prove her wrong. In the meantime, enjoy this Triceratops that is also inexplicably a, like, you know, a monster truck or something. I don't even know. Looks like something out of a Stephen King novel. Ah, the Yobo attack, that's what I call it. Okay, so if we just go over here, we just got the Titan Materia. That's the place that Scarlet was looking at. What is the Titan Materia, you might wonder? Well, it's your all-encompassing Earth damage summon. So, this is another example, I think, of the game like doing some interesting stuff by mixing gameplay and story, because Shinra clearly have no appreciation for what they're doing with like Mako and Mako reactors and all that. And even this basic thing of, oh, you only get crap material from crap reactors is demonstrably false, given what you've just seen. Triceratops, yes, I love it. Either that or it's the Zord that the Blue Ranger has from Power Rangers. Get that and 5 other monsters together, it can turn into a giant robot. Nice amount of money from them, though. So, okay, we've done that particular section, but if we go over here... Oh, it's a Froggo! And the Froggo is dead. Now, fully enough, I want to encounter that enemy again in a little moment, and I'll explain why when we see them. But for the moment, have a little look around here. Ooh, what's this? Death Blow Materia. So, the Death Blow Materia. The Death Blow Materia gives you like an increased chance to do a critical hit on an attack at the expense of reduced accuracy. There are some weapons for certain characters we can get that give them unlimited accuracy, basically, for lack of a better term, and they will be the most useful recipient of that material. But for now, I'm getting to Cloud because he's the one doing the most physical damage. So I do have to wonder, like, I mean, the obvious inspiration, I suppose, for this particular location in terms of what's happened to it is Chernobyl, but again, another example of, you know, another example of Shinra's incompetence. You get a different scene, by the way, if you have Tifa in your party instead of Aeris, or possibly even both of them at the same time. But that's why I had her specifically in my party, so I could show off this specific scene. This is the person that Aeris mentioned way back when, shortly after we first met her, and escapes from the church. Well, you know. Oh, bit awkward there. So let's see what we have in the shop. Okay, I need to figure out who actually has the white cape, but for the moment we definitely want a time magic. There's a reason we do want the white cape, by the way. We'll keep that. Let's pop up here. So this chap has, like, armor for cosplay and stuff. You're correct, Scrumpy Cloud. So this gem doesn't really sell anything new relative to what we had previously. When we get to Cosmo Canyon eventually, though, we will get a chance for even better weapons than what we currently have. So not being able to buy any right now is not a big deal. Alright, so for the moment... I'm going to take Manipulate off because I don't need it for the time being, and instead replace it with the Time Materia. So you get Haste, which is useful, but I want to level up so we can get Slow as well, and Stop, because that will be useful for later fights. Can't say no to an X potion. So that's Kate's double growth ring, so we'll give him that. Swap some stuff over. The enemy skill can go out here. Time can go in there. Elemental can go. In fact, what I will do, this will be for a little later. Ah, gotta love going through all these menus and just getting everything set up properly. And we'll give him... In fact, no, we don't have any skill there. What am I talking about? Being a moron. There we go. It does beg the question, by the way. We don't obviously see how tall, or like large, rather, I mean to say, the Gongay village was prior to the Mako reactor explosion. But it can't have been that big. Certainly not based on the lack of debris around the area, like on wider, like ruined structures. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it that Shinra would build something like the... First off, it's shit because it blows up. But secondly, like, you know, it doesn't even provide a benefit to the people who live here. I kind of gathered that. Alright, we're all set. Let's be on our way. So, just want to switch some equipment around for a moment. This is a menu I've not really shown up before, by the way, but yeah, you can swap stuff around if need be from different party members. Including doing something like that, which is really, really useful. It's buried a little bit, I admit, but at least it's there. And the reason I'm getting Red 13 in the party right now is because obviously we're going to be going to Cosmo Canyon in just a little while. Bring Kate back in here. Just finish doing some setup here on the material. We're going to want Shiva on this. We do still want the heal materials to be leveled up as well so we can get a Zoomer eventually, so having that handy would be nice. Apologies for the kind of dry menuing here, just making sure I've got everything prepped at a time. Alright, that'll do. I'm going to leave actually spicing the frogs because they do provide us with an enemy skill, but we don't really need it. Well, that was dreadful. That I can, actually. So that's the Deathblow material in action there. It does, as I say, reduce accuracy, but you do get a guaranteed critical that lands. Not this time, sadly. Part of the explanation, though, is actually going to follow when we get to the later fights in Cosmo Canyon. So I'll definitely go through it then. Don't want to give the entire game away too early. In fact, before we go into Cosmo Canyon, I'm going to bring Barrett along for a very specific reason that you'll see in a moment. What Rage Bomber does, by the way, is it puts your characters in Fury status, which means they take more damage but resultantly grow, excuse me, or rather gain limit levels more quickly. Barrett's now actually got his next limit break, which is also really handy. And speaking of which... we're going to lose our limit here, but we don't need Lunatic High anymore because we had Big Guard. Oh. Damn it, Dio, you soul's a piece of shit! Well, guess we're going to Cosmo Canyon then. Rip. Alright, so we're going to swap Kate in. We're going to put Eris in the party as well, but we're actually going to swap her out a little later once we get Red back in the party. So this ties into a couple of things, like you might recall Hojo, for example, mentioning that both he and Eris were like the last of their races, and this is him confirming that. And also note the thing about Cowardly Father as well. He has a grandpa. Kate, you've been riding around the back of that Moogle all day, you're fine. We'll go in there in a moment, but for the time being, this is where we want to be, the Tiger Lily Arms Shop. Because now we get better weapons. silver beret, and a green megaphone. And we definitely want some silver armlets. In fact, we can skip those for some of our characters anyway, because we have shimmery beaters, which are decent in their own right. And they have the same amount of slots, which is the key thing here. I'll sort that later. I'm going to clear that Fury status off as well. I say, need a bit more super glue for a door that size, mate. This way first. I can see the family resemblance. It's really neat, by the way, how we've had this image of Red 13 as someone who's been really, like, basically the most mature and intelligent character of the entire group until this point. But then you get this revelation that, oh, mentally, like, he's far ahead of everyone else, but he's got the emotional maturity of someone who's actually younger than Cloud or the rest. And to quote Shaw, the dead dogs can indeed look up. I just like to imagine when this noise starts playing, he's playing like a little tape recorder of it. I have never understood how Bugenhagen flies Go-Go Sonic Robot. I want to believe it's like a materia, like that he's lost his legs at some point in the past somehow, and that he's floating on that. I don't know. Is Bugenhagen secretly Santa? I mean, he is saying ho 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 a lot. Well, it's time for us to bring some along. All right. And we're going to bring Barrett as well. I'm bringing Barrett specifically because obviously he has his history as being the member of Avalanche, which I suppose still technically exists, and as we'll learn, it kind of gets reformed in a little while. But he certainly has the most investment out of any of them, apart from possibly Ares in terms of the planet. The only thing it really affects, I suppose, is more a question of what dialogue you get. And with that in mind, actually, I'm going to actually swap out Kate Sith for Aerys and then swap him back in. Essentially bring the two people who have the most involvement with the planet's well-being at this point. Definitely over a Cosmo Candle. Or 2, or 3. Someone was on the sofa, you know it. Either that or we can imagine that Barra and Cloud was spooning. It all works. I like, by the way, that Tifa and Aerys were just having like girl time chilling together in the bar. Alright, we're fully stocked snipes. That green arrow you might note there, where we can go outside, that will not open until a much later part of the game. But when it does, we can get something really cool from it. Now that I've actually just seen that little cactus thing that you mentioned there, Gogo Sora, I wish it was actually a cat's or like a little bobblehead thing. Okay, before we get into this scene with Bugenhagen, I'm going to go get myself another beer. I'll be back momentarily. No one ever talks about it. This is one of the, like, there are a couple of times in this game where there are weird scaling issues, like with the character models versus what's going on. One of the other times being, of course, when Cloud and Aerys escape the church and they're massive on the church roof. This is another one as well, you'll see in a moment. The softness of this music is great, by the way. Oh man, I hope that shooting star doesn't hit the planet at any point. That'd be really bad, wouldn't it? I'm going to refrain from commenting too much over this scene, because I'm just going to let it speak for itself and talk afterwards. No commentary from Barrett, surprisingly enough, even though I brought him along for that, which is a bit odd. But anyway. So, I know admittedly very little of this. I only know like why I picked up secondhand, but there is like, you know, theories out there about Gaia being a real thing and our real life, like, you know, that human consciousness, like, and souls are form of like planet's soul, spirit, something like that. That's about as much as I know of it, but for our purposes in this game, it is factual, it's true, and that'll do. Wrong place. So everyone's gathered up around the fire, so let's go see what everyone has to say. I don't know if this is like the PC visuals, by the way, but the slightly darker colour palette here really works. So for the moment, let's see what Yuffie has to say. Well, you're just a ray of sunshine. I think part of the reason that Yuffie's line there is so disposable is because since she's optional, like, it's kind of a thing you run into in games where you put optional characters in where what they say ultimately can't be too important or too necessary, because otherwise you miss it by default if you don't bring them along. So that's something we'll actually see in cutscenes much later in the game. So, How and when was Kate Sif here, you might wonder? I can think of one person I could ask on that. But anyway. So one of the things we're going to see going forward, particularly as we progress towards the end of this one, is how Aerys has to deal with the tension between her basically being her usual self versus the responsibility and even destiny that's thrown on her as being the last surviving Asian, and this is a part of it. Nothing to say, really. What about you, Tifa? What have you got to say on the matter? Insightful as always. But that being said, why is she remembering fire? Have a think about that. 5 years ago. What is she afraid to ask? I have to say, by the way, like, it's been a while since I played this game, but I like this line because if you think about it, where are you going after Cosmo Canyon? It's Nibelheim. So, credit to the writers if that was the intent of that line, to reflect the fact that Tifa knows they're going there next and is already trying to confront how she feels about that, especially given what we find out there. Alright. I should mention at this point, by the way, just because otherwise people might say that I didn't notice it, but there's obviously a very clear Native American influence on the design and look of Cosmo Canyon, like the music and such, the ideas behind it, that kind of thing. I'm not qualified to talk on any of that because I don't know anywhere near enough, but I know at least there seems to be some influence present here, and I didn't want to let it be unsaid otherwise. Alright. Let's get everyone properly kitted out here for this coming dungeon. So what I'm doing here at the moment is I'm trying to prep my characters to have also fire resistance built in. Which will be important for the boss that we're going to be fighting soon. That was part of the preparation I was doing before, actually. There's otherwise not a huge amount I really need right now. We'll put Ifrit here because he's getting close to level up. Cloud, we'll give him something. I don't know. I don't really want to like pimp him out with magic material because he doesn't need it. Makes sense for now. Alright, that should do it. Found a way. Just want to check their accessories. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm going to give Kate the sprint shoes because he has the other enemy skill materia. Which is, of course, how we cast Big Guard. I'm trying to waste the bloody door here. I'll be right behind you, he says as he just fuses into them. I do like, by the way, how the music fades out as you slowly descend into this, like, hell pit. Okay, it's gone green. A little bit mouldy in here, you know, nothing too bad. You know, maybe this place isn't so dangerous after all. It can't be that terrible. And the music stops entirely at this point. Alright, let's go. Why yes, I absolutely will take that preemptive. Thank you very much. Ah, the Fat Choco. I've not seen it shown this off on stream before, but yeah, here you go. Donk. They dead. So this is the Cave of the GI, or the GI. Not to be confused with G.I. Joe. Bad joke, I'm sorry. Which is the tribe that was mentioned before, and these are indeed the spirits of them. So, something that I want to know, which I'll show off in a moment once I get over to Cloud. These enemies are undead. You don't tend to see undead enemies a lot in this particular game versus, say, Final Fantasy VIII. But yeah, they took damage, as you can see there. Bear that in mind for the boss we'll fight later. Undead enemies take damage from restorative items, and you can instant kill them as well, using certain materia and items. Triple kill! Here's an enemy skill, very nice. So that basically means after that time runs out, Cloud dies. But Cloud killed him anyway, so that'll do. So, what we're going to learn about the live stream actually, and what we're getting here, is that this is actually a prototype for what would follow later in Final Fantasy X, with the far plane and such. Particularly the idea of the spirits remaining behind. I just realised, by the way, that having given Kate Sif the sprint shoes, like, he looks like the most hyperactive person ever. Just jumping in place like that. Nope. That dude stakes the wall there. Now, there was a material on the top floor, and we're going to go collect that in just a moment. Okay, so you can see this is oil slick here. You actually need to walk over that, otherwise you will take damage from it. Or not from the slick specifically, but rather what you run into. Critical on that as well, that's quite nice. A little like murder, he killed 50,000 plus people! Oh, sweet. Okay, so that's good for a number of reasons. Like, we've got Clim Hazard, which is Cloud's like next limit break. So you've got to walk across this, because if you don't, you run into a spike wall. Okay, so the added effects materia. We have elemental materia, which means that we can attach elements to our weapons or armor to either cause it to deal elemental damage or resist elemental damage. Added effect works in the same way. So if I were to attach, say, for example, oh, I don't know, if I take, say, okay, K-Sif has the time magic. If I take that off here, and if I go over to Red 13, and, you know, I've got the Isol magic here. Let's just do a little bit of swapping out. Let's put the time magic in here. Added effects in there. We're just switching things around a little bit, you know. Swap this around with this, blah 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 blah. Just go back to K-Sif for a moment, give him some random stuff. So what should happen now is, now that I've equipped the added effects material with the time one, is that Red 13 should also now be permanently in haste. Okay, it didn't seem to work for some reason, which is a bit odd, but never mind. I'll put the time material back in, take the added effects out. We don't need that really right now, and we'll just slap in the all. Oh, let's fudge that up. This, by the way, is the same theme that you hear in the Shimmer building after Genova escapes. Just Slow across that oil slick there. Alright, that's pointless. Gently, softly. So what I was trying to do, Grumpy Cloud, was I was trying to actually get haste to auto-apply through the use of the added effect materia. Which if you combine with certain materia, like it causes you to gain stat spectrum. In fact, I actually think I might know why I messed that up a little bit. So give me just a moment, once I finish this fight, I'll try again. Oh, yeah, you can see there, like, about that, the oil causing you to slide. So if I slide this way, I'm fine, but if I were to go, like, from this side here, and then slide this way, slide to the left, slide to the right, so your own joke here, then I would have gone to a wall of spikes, which would have done a lot of damage. I don't actually think I can apply haste through that materia combination. I could be wrong, though, mind you, but I don't think I can. So I'm going to leave anyway, because it's not strictly necessary right now. Some chests around here that we can go collect. Including Kate Sif's black megaphone. Which I presume is used for metal concerts, so that would be my guess. But that's a double materia growth weapon with 4 slots on it, more or less. That's quite nice. Whoops, I don't know what happened there. That's why I've not paid attention when I'm trying to do menuing. Very nice. Could be using some of those in a little while before we get to the next boss. I'm going to test something out actually, because I think these enemies are undead as well, so let's see if I can kill them with White Wind. Ah, it heals them. Never mind. I wasn't entirely sure on that one. Because White Wind works in the same way as other restorative skills in that it will harm enemies that are undead. It just turns out these aren't for some reason, even though you'd think they would be. By the way, ominous pools of blood. Yeah, you know, it's like a Diablo 2 map, this. Okay, so we got the game show Route of Doom here. So, which door do we pick? Door number 1. Say, what is this fabulous it's game show shit, basically, isn't it? Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, where am I going? Straight out this place again. Go ahead. Alright, so we got this dude. So, yeah, just to show off, by the way, how, like, this works with restorative items, watch this. Miss. So the reason it misses is because when you use a Phoenix down on an undead enemy, it has a 1 in 4 chance to kill them instantly. That's not a huge amount, mind you. But other restorative items do have much greater success rates. Okay, so the spider thing there. Let's go to the middle one instead. Oh, nope, dead end by the look of it. Right. So we're going to have to go through the spider webs. Something I want to mention before I even touch these, though, is that in speedruns, it's actually possible to completely bypass these spider webs. Like, you have to be, like, frame precise to do it, but it is entirely possible, so that you just don't end up having to fight the creatures that spawn us all. We're not so lucky, though, so, well, when in Rome, as they say, tally-ho! Oh, I didn't even get to the actual spider fight first. Jesus Christ. All that for nothing. Well, that's exceptionally rude. They've stopped cloud. Okay, so before I was so rudely interrupted, tally-ho! Single bloody frame, don't you? This spider is pathetic. I've seen worse in my own home. That, though, is pretty painful. Good roll, good roll, good roll. Eh. I want to just decimate him. So Sting Bomb actually does damage based on current HP, which is why it hurts so much. But Cloud just insta-gibbed him, so that'll do. All bare. And since we're here, we'll just go this way. We can then cut down to this left-hand side. And we can head down to get the treasure chest at the bottom. At least so I thought. And that's how you can use potions to harm enemies. Looks like a dead end to me. Oh well, we'll go up here anyway and go get this. Oh, no, never mind that either. God damn it, Cloud. I'm entirely okay with Sting Bomb being used by because it means I can bank limit breaks for the later fights. There we go. Barely made a step, and then next thing you know, just another fight. Nice sun kick, Sif. So yeah, there's a little side passage here. Just pick this item up. Oh, very nice turbo effort, can't complain. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Or should I say easy breezy? I've got to get it right, you know. So on that chest on the right hand side, so we're going to pop through here, find all the spider monsters. Or I would do if I weren't getting interrupted before getting to the actual web. For a moment. Dead and Disco. So I actually hit that so fast I was able to make the music carry over, which is quite something, I must say. Not even dead, Jesus. Wow, that's rude. So an X potion, the boss we're going to see soon enough, I believe you can kill them instantly using that. Whoops. You tell if I'd already had one tomato drink when doing that mistake. No harm, no foul, though. So, I still need to get that treasure chest down there, which is a bit of a problem. Oh. Dead end, it seems. Whoops. Ah, yeah, that's the one that leads around there. Try to figure out a way to get down to that chest at the bottom. So this was the way last time. I should find a way down here. So you might know, by the way, that that monster there wasn't even moving. Choco Mog can actually inflict the stop status effects on enemies, which is super useful. Obnoxiously useful, even. There's got to be a way down here somewhere. Ah, here we go. Just being mildly awkward. It's not all that useful, to be honest, the fairy ring, but I'll not look a gift accessory in the eye, you know. That should be an instant kill on all of them, and it is. Oh shit, we got a new limit! Slots for Kate. Okay. I've got to see how they turn out. So we can now head to the back of the cave. Before we do, though... So some ethers left. Might as well use them. That, by the way, is the only limit break that Kate Sith learns throughout the entire game. Red 13 knows already which warrior he's referring to. Don't get out of the cave, come on, man. Rudeness, honestly. So, one thing I should note, by the way, is because Kate Sith actually has the sprint shoes on, he's also immune to slow and stop as a result. So that halt whip attack wouldn't actually even, like, inflict those status effects on it, which is quite neat. Alright, let's go back to the cave. Oh shit, it's Nickelodeon's Legends of the Hidden Temple! Alright, boss time. Let's fuck him up. I'm going to cheat on this, and I'm going to put Big Guard on. And then I'm going to show off the power of White Wind here on a hostile enemy that's undead. So watch what happens now when I cast White Wind on this boss. Look at that damage. That's also slowed him and put him in darkness status as well. So that fire that's possessed Cloud can actually now hit him with fire attacks. But we have End Barrier up, so whatever. Anyway, let's show off our new limit break for Cloud, Clim Hazard. Look at that damage. And also, because I'm feeling particularly dickish here, watch what happens when I cast Cure 2 on him. Let's see if this attack kills him. If it doesn't, I'm going to show something off. No, it does. Okay. So you might notice that I had an elixir selected there. If you throw an elixir at him, it kills him instantly, 100% of the time. The boss is a joke, therefore. But yeah, that's Giant Attack. Alright, we should probably get out of the way of these pools of, Cherry Baja Blast. Alright, Gravity Materia. I'll explain that later, but for the moment, let's get to a scene. Right after Kate Sif, slowly nudges forward. Get ready for your woos and chat. All your dog memes, all your dog emotes. By the way, no Cloud there, no, hold off. I like that, because Cloud's like a dog, but even he knows, he's figured out ahead of time what is going to happen and what's going to be presented here, and you just gotta leave him for his, Red 13 to have his little moment. There's a couple of things I can mention here that, if I were being really nitpicky, okay, in-game, you can get petrified and you can cure it with, magic and whatever. But that doesn't matter. I can come up with all the in-game excuses for why that doesn't work, but just let the scene roll out as it's meant to be, which is that, he's had this idea that his father was a coward, a weakling, a pathetic moron who just, fled at, first sight battle, more of a chicken than a warrior. But look at him. He's still standing there proud, defending Cosmo Canyon to this day. Or I could also note how Bugenhagen never told him about this, and again, we don't know how long he's been gone for, what ideas he's left to fest. This is the first time we've seen each other in years, by all accounts. But that's one of the things that this game has been doing at this point in the run-up to what will be Rocket Town, which is that it's giving each of the individual characters, save for Yuffie and Kate Sif, and another we'll meet soon enough, like individual moments, you know, like in their own like hometowns to have some character growth, like that happened with Barrett at Coraltown. Well, when I say that, that's more symbolic, Grumpy Cloud. Like, you know, it's a symbol. No big speeches, we're just gonna give him a moment. And that's also one of my criticisms of the game, funnily enough, in that I feel like that the character development is too compartmentalized. Like, it happens mostly in the towns in which the characters originate from, and that kind of is it. Fully enough to say for Barrett and Red 13, who do have a moment later on when we return to Cosmo Canyon, where they discuss the ethics of, like, environmental terrorism and all that. And yeah, that actually happens in this game. I'm not joking. So there's a philosophy behind this that I think I should mention while I'm here, which is that, and this is expanding into like sci-fi novel territory here, but if you think about it, like, there is eventually going to be the heat death of the universe. Like, there is a finite amount of time, however many billions of years it may be, before all existence as we know it comes to an end. And we start over, who knows, maybe we have a cosmic burp and that's us beginning again. But as Bugenhagen says here, like, even if you know that the fate is inevitable, that you will fail and that all life as we know it will come to an end, all existence, all thought, all consciousness just ceases to be, shouldn't we try to keep it going, to keep that spark of, like, you know, spirit, or whatever you want to call it, going as long as we possibly can? I don't think that's unreasonable, to be quite honest. And Bugenhagen's right, like, I mean, he himself is a microcosm of this whole idea in that he only has so long left to live. But he's lived a good life, you know. And now's the moment. I really can't wait to see this scene redone in the remake, by the way. He is crying, yes. Oh, Jesus Christ, Barrett! You make him sound like you know, a handgun or something. All right. So I'm going to swap in at this point Yuffie and Tifa, who haven't had much use in the game, for a moment that's going to be coming up. Like, not this stream, but for next one, for reasons that, at least as far as, like, you know, Tifa is concerned, should be obvious. And Yuffie just because we've not had much use of it. And well, with that, we're going to leave Red 13 behind. But wait! Okay, so, just one thing I want to check before we leave. Yes. Alright. And that concludes Cosmo Canyon. So, before we leave, I'm just going to quickly swap in Red 13 again. Just to show off the little piece of kit that we got. So, this Seraph Comb, like, look at the damage increase on that. It's the most powerful weapon you can get for a party member at this particular point of the game. And it makes him a real mainstay character. But we're obviously not going to have him in there. We're going to have Yuffie instead. And I'm going to save. Alright. With that, ladies, gentlemen, MBs, thank you very much for joining me this fine evening to watch Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to leave it here and we'll come back next time to actually go and take on Nibelheim in its entirety, including the Shinra Mansion, which is something I've been really looking forward to. I'll probably do a bit of off-screen grinding in preparation in advance for it, which I obviously won't bore you with on stream. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe and looking after yourselves as best as you can, you and your loved ones. It's been a delight to have you here chatting with me in stream. People who are watching this on VOD, I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Take care, look after yourselves, have a great weekend, and as we're often fond of saying on this little podcast of ours, embrace everyone to the ends of the universe. Good night.